In the last episode, I made the case that judgment isn't the enemy. The enemy of wise decision-making is condemnation. We reclaimed discernment as a skill, not something to avoid. But knowing the difference intellectually and using it under pressure are two very different things. This is the playbook. Concrete tools, real scenarios, starting with the hardest person to judge wisely, yourself. Hey there, it's me, Core, and you're listening to Exercising Self-Control from Fitness to Flourishing. We'll start with judging yourself. Facts first, feelings second. You miss a couple of workouts. You lose your temper with someone you care about. You make a decision at work that backfires. The mind moves fast. I'm so weak. I'm a terrible person. I always get this wrong. That's not judgment. That's a verdict. And it's built on feeling, not fact. Wise self-judgment starts with a simple swap. Fact over feeling. I missed 2 workouts this week is data. I'm a failure is a story. One you can use to make adjustments. One tears you down, making you less effective with each iteration. The friend test. Here's a quick gut check when the inner critic gets loud. Would I say this to someone I care about? Would I say this to them if I wanted them to succeed? If a close friend told you they'd fumbled an important conversation with their partner, would you lean in and say, in all seriousness, "You're such an idiot. You always ruin things"? Of course not. So why is it acceptable when you're talking to yourself? Apply the same standard inward. Redirect the language. What did that moment tell me about where I am right now? That's self-coaching. That's useful. The third person pivot. One of the most effective tools for breaking the shame spiral is called the third person pivot. Instead of using I am, try the choice was. I am undisciplined. Locks identity. The choice to avoid that conversation didn't serve the relationship, opens analysis. You are no longer the problem. The choice is the variable, and a new choice can be made. Remember that a choice is enacted, so you simply look at the behavior and adjust what was done. Functional questioning. Drop why and pick up what. Why did I do that? Sounds like self-reflection. It can come across differently, as an invitation for shame. Why implies there's a character flaw at the root. What and how invite analysis. Try instead, what was I trying to accomplish with that choice? Or, how did that decision serve me in the moment, and where did it fall short? Eating outside your planned healthy food choices after a hard week doesn't mean you're broken. Ask yourself what the intent behind the behavior was. For example, relaxation, convenience, reward. And now you have something to work with. The same question applies to any pattern you keep repeating at work, in relationships, in the gym. Now we'll look at judging others. Focus on actions, not people. Your training partner keeps canceling. A colleague takes sole credit for shared work. A friend goes quiet when you'd like their support most. The easy move is to just jump to a conclusion and label. They're unreliable. They're selfish. They don't care. The wise move is to make a distinction. Focus on and judge the action, not the person. They've canceled 4 times this month is observable. They're unreliable is a verdict that closes the door on understanding and on the relationship. The information gap. Before you render judgment, ask yourself, what don't I know? What am I not aware of here? You see someone half repping their squats and assume laziness. You don't see the hip injury they're managing. You see a colleague miss a deadline and assume carelessness. You don't see the family crisis at home. Acknowledging the information gap should be the obvious first move, but it takes effort and humility. It's so much easier to apply a label. Then you don't have to think more deeply. Paying attention to what you don't know is intellectual honesty, and it keeps your discernment accurate. Use functional boundaries over verdicts. When someone's behavior genuinely doesn't work for you, the language matters. You're toxic and I'm done is a verdict. I care about you and I need to set a limit here for my own well-being is a boundary. One burns the bridge. One holds the line while keeping your integrity intact. In fitness terms, you can stop training with someone without deciding they're a bad person. In life terms, you can step back from a friendship without writing off the person. Discernment over condemnation, every time. The language of wise judgment. Words shape the frame. Change the words, and you change the perspective. Here are some inward pivots. Replace right or wrong with alignment. Replace failure with data point. Replace judgment with inventory. Replace competence with efficacy or effectiveness. Here are some outward pivots. Replace verdict with boundary. Replace label with observation. Replace intent with capacity. Replace critique with discernment. And when you need to think through a situation clearly, use this template. I'm not looking to assign blame. I'm trying to discern the function and impact of this situation so I can make a wise decision moving forward. Say it out loud. It resets the entire conversation, internal or external. An exercise practice has always been the proving ground for how we handle ourselves under pressure. The weight doesn't care about your excuses. The metrics don't negotiate. And the gap between where you are and where you want to be is just data, if you're willing to read it that way. Every missed rep, every skipped session, every nutrition choice that didn't serve you is an opportunity to practice the skill of seeing clearly without condemning what you see. Judge wisely, adjust accordingly, keep moving. That's it for today. Catch you next time.